So welcome back to another FIFA 21 video. Today we are going to recap the official gameplay reveal which happened yesterday. We're going to take a look at the trailer and we're also going to take a look at the pitch notes to see what's new. And of course, if you do go on to enjoy today's video, please leave a like, it always helps. To get all the latest FIFA 21 news and content, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I'm trying to get to 200,000 by the end of the year, so please help me. Let's get into the gameplay trailer. Now, if you want to watch the full thing, go on YouTube on the EA channel. You can watch it in full, speed, but I'm going to have to break it down a little bit to see what's new, if we've got anything there. So we've got your FIFA 21 gameplay features. It's not really about the gameplay, it's more about the game engine footage, besides a few little clips here and there that actually resemble gameplay. There's Lukaku's new face, we've got the beard, we've got no hair on him. And here is a look at some FIFA 21 gameplay. So we've got this scene, actually no we don't, because EA straight away makes game engine footage again. But as you can see, you wouldn't really think this was FIFA 21 if I told you this was FIFA 20, besides the new kits or something. But it looks like, the players are going to hold their runs, this guy's put his hand out, but then he realizes he's offside, so he comes back in. And then we go back to some gameplay again, so let's take a look at that. Plays are through. Okay, back to game engine footage again. You're not helping me, EA. Come on, EA. We've got the new celebration for Haaland right there. And then we're back to gameplay again. As you can see, this is like the new system here where you can control the player's runs. Now, this is similar to PES where you can send the guy on for a run and you manually control the player's run. Like he's not getting assisted by the AI. You are controlling that run. And there's a control for that soon. But as you can see, he's making the run. He finds the space. We play it through to him. And then we go back to game engine footage once again. Now, these words always come up every year, it's the same thing, dribbling, shooting, all that kind of stuff, and every year they promise to be great, but then once you get your controller and you put your game in, it's a different experience, especially after the patches come in and that. But this is what the trailer is going to focus on: agile dribbling, creative runs, positioning, awareness, natural collision system, and fundamentals of football. They're your pillars for this trailer. These are pretty much the new features in FIFA 21 gameplay. So we've got the nutmeg, we've got our Foden at Liverpool's ground, and let's see what he can do here. He does a nice nutmeg, Robertson gets fooled, nice dribbling scene there, and then we go to Volta gameplay. So this is your agile dribbling in Volta. Let's just play it in real time. So as you can see, nice dribbling there. This is Australian Volta. Apparently this is the Australian court. So yeah, this is a nice little backyard as well. You have your boat there, your water, your court there. This would be like if you won Lotto and then you just have like this mad house with a football court and stuff. That would be pretty cool, but that's apparently Australia. And then we go back to some more agile dribbling scenes. And here's another Volta scene. So Mane's doing his thing. I mean, imagine doing that with delay. You know how online has a delay? Imagine doing those tricks with delay. Look at that. I mean, it would not look like that, I'll tell you that. But hopefully we can use this. I'm not really a big dribbler, to be honest, so I don't know. I mean, a lot of people like to use dribbling. I'm just not that good at dribbling. But apparently you got to hold the R1 button and then move the left stick, as you can see. Maybe you got to rotate it or something, and he'll do the dribble that EA is trying to show you right here. So as you can see, Sterling there plays it through, and then he scores the goal. We've got another skill move there, nice little turns, and then nice goals right there. And we've got AC Milan and Inter Milan, new partners for the game. Van Dijk again, collision system right there. Now we move on to creative runs. So this is the PES system where you can control the player's run. As you can see, the arrows come up, which lets you know where the player's going. So we hold the ball up, Mbappe makes that run that we controlled, and he goes on to score. In this scene, we've got Benzema holding it up. You can see the arrows there. Vinicius Jr. makes the run into the gap, and he goes on to score. In Volta, you can also do the creative runs again, and you can score goals like that. You have to hold the L1 and also, control the run for the other guy using the R stick. So as you can see, he's got the analog stick pointing, bottom left, and he's holding the L1, and Salah's making that run into the space. We play it off to him, and he should score. And then there's another thing here, Hazard. I think this is where you can actually take control of the guy. So instead of controlling the run, it'll go into like player career mode where you actually take control of that, and then the AI is playing as the other guys, and they'll find the pass for you, and you can go on to score. So I don't know, I'm not sure about that, but that's what I sort of read. I think the pitch notes might clarify that a bit more. And then we move on to positioning awareness. So let's see if there's anything good here. So this is basically when a player is going to hold their run. If they run into an offside position, they'll come back waiting for your pass. So as you can see, Aguero's offside. He holds up the run, and we can play into him, and he should score right there. Another clip here with De Bruyne. Let's play it in real time. So Aguero makes the run. De Bruyne plays it through to him, and Aguero takes a shot. And then we've got another one here. This is positioning awareness once again. And now we move on to some blocking. So As you can see, Van Dijk is a master at the blocks. This is what the new blocking system looks like. As you can see, a lot of deflections are probably going to occur this year in the gameplay, but apparently they've made the defenders smarter where they can actually block the ball and intercept passes better, all that kind of stuff. Natural collision system is up next, and this is what FIFA 20 looks like. A bit of a mess, players falling down everywhere. I'm sure it's happened to a few of you guys, but in FIFA 21, apparently the players are not going to fall down. Apparently, you know, it's not going to be as much of a mess anymore. So as you can see, everyone's on the floor there. Here we've got the red guy, notices that the ball's loose and he clears it instead. Here's another look at the collision system. So in FIFA 20, nice tackle, but as you can see, everyone just bumps into each other. In FIFA 21, it's a lot more cleaner, where, you know, they're not falling over each other. I think that's a new celebration for Dele Alli right there. And we move on to the next one, which is fundamentals of football. So it looks like heading is back. I mean, there's a nice goal by Benzema. We've got the crossing, we've got the headers. Thank God the headers have returned this year. I mean, FIFA 20 was a disaster for headers. We've got long through balls there. That's a nice little pass. And that looks like another feature that they've improved. Competitor mode. Now, this is the thing where it's going to be on top of ultimate difficulty and legendary difficulty. So if you found them easy, if you found them not scripted enough, then you can turn on this competitor mode, which is going to create gameplay based on like these real-world esports players. So as you can see, this is a clip of competitor mode. So imagine ultimate difficulty as it is right now, but turned on with competitor mode included. You can see, look at that, man. You've got no chance. This is going to be like relegation difficulty. If you want to get relegated in career mode, you've got no chance. And then there's also this gameplay rewind feature. And apparently this is only in kickoff mode, so if you miss a shot or something, you can go back and score the shot. It's not in career mode by the looks of it. I think they said it's only kickoff mode. So now we're going back to some more game engine footage and some gameplay clips in between. But I mean, that's pretty much your FIFA 21 gameplay new features. Now there's a few extra things that I just noticed after taking a look at it again. I've seen Lottie's new face in FIFA 21. We saw that, you know, in another leak a few weeks ago, but yeah, that's another confirmation there. And I don't know if this is new, but I want you guys to take a look at the post, you know, when he hits it with the ball. So it sort of rattles a little bit. I don't know if that's new. You know, it's not something that I pay attention to, but the post does rattle a little bit. As you can see, that little movement right there. You have to look at it frame by frame. It does rattle. See that movement there? I don't know if that's new, but it looks new to me. It's not something that I noticed though. Now this is the new Milan court in FIFA Volta. So that's a new court added to the game as well. This is another new court in Volta. This is, I think, Sao Paulo in Brazil. And then we've also got the Dubai court in Volta now as well. And then someone also spotted a new update to Trippier's face. I don't know where this is from, but I saw it on Instagram. And then there's also another photo of Zé Luís from FC Porto, who has a new face in the game as well. But that is not all, folks, because we've got to take a look at this pitch notes. And as you can see, it is like an essay you would submit to your university degree. I mean, this is just on FIFA gameplay. I imagine the career mode one and stuff. I mean, it wouldn't be as big as this, but whoever wrote this, man, credit to you, because this is a big piece of work here. But obviously I can't read all this. It will take me about half an hour if I was to go through 6,000 words right here. So if you want to read it in your own time, you can. I'm just going to go through the main highlights right here. It says, before we dive into specifics, please note that we are not discussing the PS5 or Xbox Series X versions of the game in this article, and more updates on those will follow later this year. However, all listed updates in this article will be present on both generations of consoles. So for features, it says, let's touch on player personality. One of our goals is to ensure that world-class players can perform as effectively as their real-life counterparts, showcasing the personality of players who are talented in multiple areas and shine brightly in the world's game. To achieve that, we are increasing the number of attributes that are used to decide each action's quality, animation, speed, and effectiveness. For example, in the past, a through pass used the short or long passing attribute to determine quality. However, in FIFA 21, a through pass is a mix of short/long passing, vision, and composure attributes. So basically they've added more attributes into a through pass. This change will allow us to take player personalities to the next level, and you will see the term used as we highlight spots where this concept will have an impact in FIFA 21. So we've got agile dribbling. It's a brand new way to keep close control of the ball in FIFA 21. It's intended to give you the ability to quickly move the ball from side to side to help dribblers get away from defenders, and to use fast footwork to help you create space by tricking defenders into overcommitting to tackles. To perform agile dribbling, hold R1 or RB while moving the left stick, and you will notice the dribbler moving the ball with rapid and precise touches. Every player in the game can agile dribble. However, the higher a player's dribbling, agility, reactions, and ball control attributes, the quicker, more precise, and better they will be at keeping the ball at their feet. And now we move on to some creative runs. In FIFA 21, we want to make sure you have more control over how your attacking AI players move. With creative runs, we've included new options to influence how your AI teammates move off the ball, providing more creative ways to break down your opponent's defense. So this is called directed runs. You can now take full 360 control over the direction of the runs of your teammates by flicking the right stick after triggering a run using the LB button, and then you flick the R stick. We saw that in the trailer. There's another feature here called directed pass and go. Decide where your teammate makes their run after a pass by immediately flicking the right stick in the desired direction. This feature works with any type of pass, ground pass, lob pass, through ball, and even crosses. There's also player lock that you can do using certain, commands, and it'll pretty much turn it into like a player crew mode where you just control that one person for the time being, and the AI will try and find you with a pass or something. For all of these mechanics, there's going to be a limited time window for you to trigger the direction, so make sure you practice to get the timing correct. And that brings us on to positioning personality, another new feature. In FIFA 21, we are focusing on adding deeper AI player personality in positioning, both offensively and defensively, to ensure that the ability of the greatest players on the virtual pitch matches up to their real-world counterparts. We want players who are tactically aware to have a bigger impact in FIFA by being in the right place at the right time to shoot, pass, or block the ball. Now these are some notes on the attacking positioning attribute impact. The positioning attribute can impact many elements of attacking personality and the specific behaviors below scale according to the player's attribute. Onside and offside runs, awareness to know when to slow down and time the run to perfectly stay onside. Passer readiness runs, understanding of when the ball possessor is ready to make a pass so the player can time their run perfectly. High attribute players will show intelligent timing and movement based on where the passer is facing and moving. Decision making time and intelligence, the ability to make fast and accurate decisions on where and when to move. Passing lane analysis, understanding of spaces to determine where the next best move to receive a pass is. Now these are behaviors that will only happen when a player has a very high positioning attribute, so they can open up space, ability to create separation between attackers and defenders when the defense is tight, or to provide more passing options. Ideal crossing positioning, understanding of the best open space in the box to beat defenders during dangerous in-play crossing situations. Fake runs in the box, creating forward fake runs and then pulling back to be available for cutbacks, or changing run direction from near post to far post. Chance creation support, AI forwards are more aware of the lack of passing options and will drop back to the midfield to support teammates in order to help in build-up. So those were a few attacking things. Now we're talking about defending. The following behaviors below scale according to the player's attribute, so the higher the attribute the better it's going to be. Run tracking, ability to track a run and anticipate one before it happens, with highly aware defenders doing a much better job at staying with their runners. Two-man marking to prevent counter-attacks. Ability for two high attribute defenders to mark a striker so they have limited space to avoid a counter-attack. Defensive midfielder diligent tracking, the ability to intelligently mark and track runs by attackers without giving up or leaving them open. Defensive midfielder cutting passing lanes, awareness to position themselves better in order to cut off passing lanes and limit the opponent's options. Active versus passive winger behaviors, determines how active wingers can get when having to perform defensive duties such as marking, defensive positioning and tracking runs. Fullback cooperation, better awareness of the teammate fullback's positioning, allowing them to better work together when marking. When one fullback pushes up, the other will cover and become more aware to mark and track attackers. But that brings me on to my next one, smoother encounters. To promote a smoother game flow in FIFA 21, we created new animation systems and combined them to better decide how players interact physically with each other. This will reduce the amount of chaotic situations in the game. The intention for this system is to result in more lifelike encounters as players strive to get to the ball, rather than situations where players may have unrealistically fallen over one another trying to get the ball previously. The next feature is the enhanced CPU AI and competitor mode. It's called competitor mode because it's trying to mimic some of the best FIFA Pro players in the world. It gives the AI, more skill moves and, more aggressiveness and stuff. I would stay away from this because ultimate difficulty in FIFA 20 is terrible at the moment, so we'll see how this goes, but right now I think I'm going to stay away from this. But they've also said to complement this, we enhanced CPU AI controlled players, so on the field they will exhibit behaviors that are more similar to a human player when defending and attacking. A lot of the fundamental behaviors of the CPU have been reworked to provide more variety and more football-like behaviors at all skill and difficulty levels. Now we take a look at the fundamentals of football, basically headers. So FIFA 20, the headers were terrible, less effective, resulting in less goals. Mate, they didn't even get close to the goal half the time. In FIFA 21, to improve the viability of scoring with headers while keeping a skill gap in the game, we are introducing manual heading. To enable this option, a player would set the assisted headers option to off. When playing with this option, your headers will not be assisted in any way, with the aim and power used when performing the header determining the initial target for the header before the header is then potentially impacted by error. Talking about defending next, it says based on feedback we improved the controlled tackling system introduced in FIFA 20 to make it more accurate than before, with players better positioning themselves in order to perform the ideal standing tackle. When performing a standing tackle, we will now use a combination of the standing tackle, defensive awareness and aggression attributes. So obviously the better those attributes on a player, the better defender he will be. We also reworked shoulder challenges and seal outs to make them more effective and more realistic. We now move on to blocking, and it says we are excited to be refreshing blocking in FIFA 21. The team has completely rewritten the blocking system and added it to the controlled tackling technology, creating more reliable and realistic blocks when defending shots and passes. And speaking of passes, it says the goal for this year is to create a more intelligent passing game. The main focus here is to improve the passing system by adding a better understanding of space and the opponent's position in order to pass towards the target that makes most sense for the receiver in the situation. It says for through passing, this system was rebuilt from the ground up to improve possible pass targets, receiver selection and increased player personality. In addition, new concepts were introduced like pass openness, providing smart passers with the ability to open up the pitch. Pass complexity, new passing trajectories and targets are possible, allowing for killer through balls that will put the receiver in a great scoring opportunity. And there's also a new semi-assisted through ball assistance setting that takes into consideration your controller input angle to decide the target. Now for crossing, it says this system was remodeled to create more unique crosses that help players get the most out of their build-up. There are a number of new crossing trajectories in FIFA 21, so you can do a whipped cross, you can do a driven cross, and you can also do a ground-driven cross using the following commands there. They've also updated cross assistance settings, so assisted is now the default setting, and it's similar to how semi-assisted worked in previous FIFAs, and they updated semi-assisted to bring it more in line with how the other semi-assisted settings work, making it more manual. Now in other improvements, they've improved the targets and trajectories of lobs and lobbed through passes, the ability to perform last-second animation transitions allowing you to change directions for your lob or through pass, multiple new animations that provide quicker and more efficient passing plays, and better trajectories for clearances to avoid teammates, opponents, and your own goal. Now in terms of animation fluidity, they've improved their animation transition system, allowing for faster transitions, which support a more fluid and responsive experience, especially in passing, shooting, ball control, dribbling, and player movement. Giving players more control, we added even more mechanics and innovations to give you more control both on and off the pitch. So you've got bridge and nutmeg skill moves, we saw those in the trailer. Cancel foul advantage, so if you hold L2 and R2, it allows the player to ask for the foul instead of keeping the advantage of the play, providing you with more agency to decide which option is better for each moment. Instant hard tackles using the R1 plus the circle, the ability to perform hard tackles instantly without having to hold and power up the tackle button. Setup touch 2.0, improvements to setup touch including faster animations, keeping the ball closer to the player and performing more accurate shots. Improved finesse shots, the curve attribute will now have more influence over a finesse shot's ball curl. Call players into the box on goal kicks, so you can do that now as well. Improved super cancel mechanics, so if you do a hard super cancel, it allows players to go into free move in any situation, except when dribbling with the ball. Pass shot cancel, L2 plus R2 allows you to cancel any pass or shot request. And then we have skill moves cancel using L2 and R2, which allows user to cancel specific skill moves during the move. Now there's even more settings here, so there's auto flare passes, which is on by default. When it's on, players will perform flare passes contextually in appropriate situations. There's also auto clearances. When that is on, the players will perform clearances contextually in appropriate situations. And auto shots, which is on by default. Players will perform automatic shots contextually in appropriate situations. And then there's player lock. The player lock feature described in the creative run section will be available for use. Contextual agile dribbling. Enable contextual agile dribbling for left stick dribbling in one-on-one situations. You've got assisted headers, which is on by default, and when it's on, it will enable header assistance for passes and shots for a more casual gameplay experience. There's also through ball assistance, there's also cross assistance, directed runs indicator as well, which is those arrows on the floor. They've also made a lot of improvements to skill moves in FIFA 21. They've reduced the penalty and error for chaining skill moves. They've increased the number of skill moves that you can chain without the ball getting away to 6 now, which was up from 3 in FIFA 20. Easy skill moves can be chained without penalty, so ball roll and step overs. Remapped drag back to be L1 plus R1 plus left stick in 180 degree angle of player facing angle. Technical improvements to create a more reliable skill moves detection system. Ball distance was made closer for rainbows and flicks. Prioritize skill move execution over sprint requests. All access skill moves. All players can now perform right stick skill moves, but their effectiveness depends directly on their skill move rating and attributes. These include low skill roulette, low skill heel to heel, feint and exit, stop and turn, drag back spin, and simple rainbow. Skill move cancel. Some skill moves can now be cancelled You can cancel fake shots, feint forward, 3-touch roulette, lane change, all those ones there. New skill moves added, feint forward and turn, drag to heel, and ball roll fake. And now we've got a bit of info on online gameplay responsiveness efforts. In most situations, what players associated with online gameplay responsiveness was actually not related to online at all, and also happened in offline matches as well. They instead were related to elements of gameplay which we have worked to improve in FIFA 21. These changes below apply to all forms of gameplay, offline and online in FIFA 21, skill moves detection, switching improvements, general responsiveness, and wrong/no actions. Next up, we have some quality of life improvements. So they've removed some celebrations, including the shush and the AOK foot celebration, removal of the walkback cinematic after a goal in online matches, reduced the length of goal celebrations, reduced the waiting time for multiple set pieces, which had been set to 30 seconds at the launch of FIFA 20. So kickoff is 10 seconds, throw in 12 seconds, goal kick 15, corner kick 15, penalty 15, free kick 20, and kick in 15 seconds, which is Volta football. Auto skip some animation sequences when the ball goes out of play in online matches. Reworked logic to improve detection of when the half and end of match should finish. You know how the game has like that certain part of the field where you know the ref's going to blow the whistle once the ball crosses that part? Well, it looks like they've sort of reworked that. We've got some competitive and core community feedback. No ball collision with hands. Outfield players' hands and forearms are now permeable, which is like transparent, and should not collide with the ball, preventing handball situations from influencing the play. Quick tactics, team press timer. So now the team press thing has like a timer. Manual switch to offside trap player. Ground pass assistance. Jockey acceleration, deceleration. Players with a lower defensive awareness attribute have a reduced jockey effectiveness. Goalkeeper save consistency. Improved multiple goalkeeper behaviors, including when to punch versus when to catch. More consistency on reflexes. Situations where the goalkeeper decides between rushing out, clearing the ball, blocking the attacker, or taking control of the ball. Goalkeeper positioning to better cover near posts. Throw-in positioning. Better positioning to provide quicker targets for faster and more urgent throws, and then chip shots accuracy. Improved chip shot targeting system to improve consistency and accuracy of these shots. There's also general improvements with new features that are exclusive to kickoff mode, and some other improvements we worked on for FIFA 21. So kickoff only is FIFA attributes, which is going to provide a similar experience as when playing foot with high chemistry. So as you can see, some players got like boosts. I'm not going to go into too much detail here. Not many people play kickoff anyway. We've got the rewind feature in kickoff, which allows you to have like a flashback feature where you can go and take the shot again. You can rewind back up to 30 seconds. And then we've also got many more features here. Hundreds of new animations to refresh and polish multiple areas. New goalkeeper antics on penalty kicks. Turned off the trainer as default. New rules settings to call a handball for goalkeepers when handling the ball outside of the box. Turned off time finish mechanic for beginner through to professional difficulty. Multiple new celebrations including the finger swipe and the selfie next to ad boards. So now you can take a selfie. Player signature celebrations for Mbappe, Haaland, Bergwijn and more to come. And finally, we reached the end of this pitch notes. That about rounds it up for our overview on gameplay for FIFA 21. Man, my throat is killing me. Man, you got to leave a like for that, man. I went through all of this for you guys, man. So yeah, if you want to read it in your own time, you can, but I tried to go through all the important stuff so we know everything about this game. Now, if you want to know my opinion, well, I'm just going to keep it short. I think they're saying the right stuff. You know, it's nice to see all these changes and stuff, but we don't know for sure how this gameplay is going to be until we actually play the game ourselves. Every year they say big stuff about gameplay, and then every year we get disappointed. So hopefully it is a sign of good things to come, but you never know until the patches come out, until you start playing the game yourself. And speaking of what's next, I think on the 10th we're going to get some Ultimate Team news. Lucas Pizzatti put out a thing that said on the 10th Ultimate Team news is coming, so make sure you sub up and join me on the 10th or the 11th to go through all the pitch notes there. And also, career mode is coming on the 13th, I believe, as well. Lucas Pizzatti said that as well. So it's going to be a big week or two coming up, full of pitch notes and stuff. So yeah, I hope you do enjoy. So that's all for today. If you need something else to watch, please make sure you check out this FIFA video. Hit the card in the middle. It'll take you right there. I'll see you next time.